Will Raja Jackson be arrested from what you're hearing?
Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind. Everything's on tape, on video. It's premeditated. Just LAPD tends to drag their feet.
Psycho Stu is suing, is he suing Raja specifically, or who is he suing specifically?
I know from a decent source that there are lawyers involved, but that was on the internet. I think it was X posted it, and then
But the most recent one I thought was the most telling. He posted a very long statement on his Instagram, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. You've seen it. You can go. He's talking more about the reaction, and I know. And by the way, let's call it like it is. Like, there's been a lot of, I can't even imagine the racist stuff that has been thrown his way and his son's way. One should have nothing to do with the other. Like, get that out.
Doug Mallow, friend of Psycho Stu and the one who stopped Raja Jackson, confirmed Raja's arrest is coming soon. He said detectives told him everything was on video, showing premeditation, and they are just collecting extra footage to build a solid case. The investigation is fully focused on Raja, not others, with Lapt moving slowly but surely.
Pad, any updates? Will Raja Jackson be arrested from what you're hearing?
yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind. Everything's on tape, on video. It's premeditated. Just LAPD tends to drag their feet. So the detective asked me a bunch of questions. I even asked about my implications, just because it's, you're involved and whatnot. And he goes, no, there's nothing to worry about. Like, you're just trying to get compliance. Everything was towards Raja. He asked a couple other questions about the other videos involved with the people in the back and this and that. Not for implications, just because he's just trying to get information. He's building a...
Doug Mallow said detectives told him the Lapt is taking its time to build the case. They already have enough evidence and witnesses for the state to move forward, but they are focusing on proving premeditation. Mallow added that investigators even asked him to explain certain conversations and terms to better understand the context.
What I should look at, what not to look at. He was saying that this is just how LAPD works. They drag their feet. So they're building the case right now. They get all the evidence. The state's going to pick it up because there's so many people, so many witnesses. Heck, even my little brother saw it. My girlfriend, my mom, all the kids that saw it, all the people there. So that right there, they have the evidence enough to try the case. And then what they're trying to figure out is what level of premeditation is, from my understanding, is why he's trying to figure out what conversations took place, what conversations mean. He was asking me what specific terms mean exactly, and like what they mean to the...
Doug Mallow revealed that lawyers are already involved and expects Stuart Smith to sue Raja Jackson. He said reliable sources confirm legal action is highly likely and already in motion.
Stu is suing, is he suing Raja specifically, or who is he suing specifically?
I know from a decent source that there are lawyers involved, but that was on the internet. I think it was X posted it, and then a couple other ones.
But is this confirmed, for a fact from your source, right?
That there's lawyers involved.
Is there any idea of who he's suing?
I think their first name starts with an R and their last name's Jackson.
Yeah, we know that there are lawyers involved, so let the process play out, and then we'll know it by ear. But I can say there's a high probability of that.
That's what's gonna happen to Raja?
Yeah.
That literally sounded like a jail door.
Straight to...
Doug Mallow admitted the situation caused him anxiety and frustration. He said he wants to move past the drama, sign with a major promotion, and focus on wrestling. Mallow stressed he never asked for this and only tried to stop what turned into an attempted murder.
And you've gotten a lot of positive attention, Doug. What's next for you as far as in wrestling and just in general? What are your plans moving forward?
I don't know now. I want to get to an upper echelon, and I want to be somewhere, and I don't want to sit here and have to deal with all this drama anymore. I feel like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I say how I feel or just tell the truth, you know what I mean? I don't know. It gives me a bunch of anxiety, dealing with this whole situation. I want to get signed. I want to go somewhere. I'm cool with AEW, MLW, WWE, anywhere, right? But all of this leaves it up for everyone to speculate on, and the truth always gets buried. You know what I mean? And then years later, it might come out and it's oh, that was the truth. They were right. They were this, right? But I feel like right now, it's the best thing for me to do is just shut myself in a room and be quiet, because this is a lot. I didn't ask for any of this shit. All I did was break up a fucking fight or attempted murder.
John Bradshaw Layfield condemned Raja Jackson's actions, saying the assault went far beyond a fight. He stressed all responsibility was on Raja while showing concern for Rampage, noting that hitting someone already unconscious crosses the line of basic human decency.
Attempted murder. There's no other way to describe it. And I'm gonna give you some caveats about what could have been done, but I want to make it very clear. This is 100% Raja Jackson's fault. 100%. The fault and the blame lies 100% with this man. I feel sorry for Rampage, who seems like a really good guy. You know, his talk about his son had a concussion. We can talk about that in a minute, and you know that he should have been there to put him in that situation, which is, I think, correct. But 100% of this blame goes on Raja. I mean, no matter what happens here, once this guy's out, the fight's over. If it is a fight, the guy didn't know he was in a fight. So forget about the fact that, the guy was thought he was working and, he knocks him out. But at that point, it's just attempted murder. I mean, you're hitting. I don't care what happens. I don't care if this happened in the back. A guy's down and out and you just keep punching him.
Ariel Helwani blasted Raja Jackson, calling his actions foolish and outrageous, saying any punishment will be well-deserved. He also expressed surprise that no legal action had been taken yet despite how reckless it was.
Absolute shitstorm of stupidity. I mean, just even calling it a shitstorm of stupidity is being kind. And it starts with Raja himself. What he did and the way he acted was absolutely insane. He deserves anything that is going to come his way, and as of now, it's nothing. As of now, he hasn't been charged, he hasn't been arrested, he hasn't been anything. And I don't know if he's going to be, and far be it for me to sit here and be like, that was first degree this, and I've seen people weigh in on like what it is. I'm no lawyer, I'm no officer. What I know is that it was absolutely stupid what he...
Ariel Helwani said Raja Jackson brought the trouble on himself and will face accountability. He called it unbelievable that Raja carried out the attack, filmed it, and defended it, labeling it reckless self-destruction.
I don't know what repercussions Raja is going to face, but he is going to have to face repercussions. Whether it's, via the court of law, whether it's via the police, whether it's via the streets, I don't fucking know. But that was crazy, man. You incriminated yourself. You filmed yourself beating the living daylights out of another man. And then you filmed yourself telling the world that you were going to do it, and then you filmed the aftermath of you justifying it. What? Absolutely.
Greg Doucette suggested Raja Jackson may have ruined his career and could face prison. He said years of comparisons to his father and constant criticism, even from family, built pressure that made this outburst almost inevitable.
And so Raja most likely has ended his career, will end up in prison for God knows how long. And so, in my opinion, this is an example of exactly what happens when kids, they lash out. And by kids, I mean adults who are only 25 years of age. Perhaps he's 26. I forget. When you keep on poking the bear, you keep on teasing someone, you keep on belittling them, putting them down, making them feel less than other people. Eventually, you can't handle it and you don't give two Turks about anything. And so, in my opinion, this was a ticking time bomb. Imagine, you're this kid. You have to live up to your dad's reputation. And all he does is make fun of you, put you down, calls you a bitch, pussy. Eventually, what do you think you're going to do when the wrong person pushes you the wrong...
Greg Doucette slammed Raja Jackson for going way past the script, saying it was meant to be just one punch, but Raja threw over 20 on an unconscious Stu. He said once Stu was bleeding and not fighting back, it was clearly over, and continuing crossed into criminal behavior that could land Raja in jail.
So he gets up on top and he punches him. That was basically the script. And so at this point, I think there's nothing wrong with this. Hey, it was a script. I didn't notice he was unconscious. And so I hit him. Fine. What about the second punch? The third, the fourth, the 10th, the 20th? What about on number 27? When blood is pouring out of the person's head and he hasn't swung back a single time. Do you not think he would know if somebody is defenseless or not? And so I don't care if the guy deserved it or he didn't deserve it. I don't care about any of that stuff. When the person you're beating up is unconscious and can no longer defend themselves, the fight is over. And if you continue to beat that person up, that's when you're in the wrong and that's when you go.
Greg Doucette said the chaos came from wrestlers not knowing if Raja's attack was scripted or real until blood showed. Once they realized it was legit, they rushed in to save Stu. He explained Raja's punches came so fast it was hard to process, and after leaving the ring in blind rage, just as he warned he would, the whole thing was caught clearly on video, proving Raja's responsibility.
Think of it, it's wrestling. Everyone's thinking it's part of the script. And so you're shocked at first. It takes you a few seconds. You know how fast these guys can punch? 20 punches they can put out in about 5 seconds. And so it's happening right before your eyes, but you don't even know. You're thinking it's a script, it's a fight, and then eventually you're thinking, okay, wait, all this blood's coming out. That's not fake blood. And so I got to jump in there and stop it. And so they eventually stop this fight. He storms out the ring, runs off. And so notice this guy, he's in a rage. He's in a fit of rage. He did exactly what he said he was going to do before the script. And so we literally caught this assault, if we want to call it an assault or an attack or an attempted murder, call it what you will, but it's caught in 4K. And so we see everything start to finish. And so clearly he's guilty.
Sharilan said Raja's attack was supposed to be part of a scripted wrestling move. Raja did a planned double-leg takedown with Psycho Stu cooperating, but it went wrong, and Stu landed on his head, briefly knocked out.
Of a wrestling angle that was scripted and planned. You see Raja come in with his wits about him, waits for the right moment, picks up a double leg, just as it was planned. And he's doing this with Psycho Stu, and Psycho Stu is letting it play perfectly. Raja then turns him around so that when he brings him down, it's right in the center of the ring, which appears to be very clearly what they agreed and had planned to do. Now, the landing is not great. When Raja brings Psycho Stu down, it's not great. And Stu lands in a way and he hits the back of his head. And he looks as though he perhaps lost a level of consciousness right then.
JL Sonnen noted Raja's strikes looked harder than normal wrestling moves but weren't aggressive at first. He followed the planned sequence, then threw an MMA-style punch. After that, the routine broke down, and Raja hit in real anger.
Very stiff shots, not what we would call a working shot. It did not appear that Raja had lost his temper. It did not appear that these were being done out of anger. As much as, all right, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to spin you in a 180, I'm going to bring you down in the middle of the cage, then just like a cage fight, I'm going to land a punch to either side. Whatever's supposed to happen after that. There was a couple of guys there, a referee, another wrestler, perhaps the boys step in. We'll never know. Because at this point, it appears that Raja marked out for his own gimmick and really begins laying some shots in, but those shots are done out of...
Greg Doucet disagreed with Shannon, saying no one can truly consent to serious harm. He compared it to asking someone's arm to be cut off. Just because it's staged doesn't make continued attacks okay, especially on an unconscious Psycho Stu.
Chael Sonnen, on the other hand, he has a completely different take. He's saying, hey, this is staged. I'm sure they agreed to the fight. And so if he wakes up from all of this and says, hey, it was part of the fight, it was scripted, then no problem. It's okay. I totally disagree with it. I don't think that you can consent to being murdered. I feel like you can't consent to that. To the same extent, if I say, hey, my arm is tingling a lot. It's bothering me so much. I don't like it. Somebody cut off my arm. Somebody please cut off my arm. I don't like it. Stop it. And somebody comes up with an axe and cuts off your arm and says, there, I got you, bro. You can't do that. What if bro is on D and was having a bad trip and you just cut off their arm because he asked you to? You can't consent to these things. And so Chael, no, you can't just say, oh, well, it's a fight and you can do what you want. He consented to this and he couldn't tell he was on.
Big John McCarthy said the real concern is Rampage Jackson, a devoted father forced to watch his son make harmful choices. He called it heartbreaking to see a parent in that situation, knowing it's the last thing Quentin would want for Raja.
You're looking at it and people are, they're trying to give some type of forgiveness because it's Quentin, not because it's Raja, because it's Quentin. It's Quentin Jackson that is the person that you've got to feel sorry for, okay? In the fact that, he's hooked up in this when he's not the one that took part in this. And that's a sad thing because he's a father and he loves his son. And it's sad to see someone go through something of this magnitude when it's the last thing in the world you would have told your son to.
Dylan Dennis said the incident seemed like a setup gone wrong, not a real fight. He suggested Roger Jackson might have personal issues, called the situation tragic, and stressed that in combat sports, you must protect those in your care, making Roger's actions even more disturbing.
Come in here, I fucking kid, like, fuck you, like, I like really want to fight you, you know, and then, yeah, beat the shit out of the fucking guy, but it didn't seem like that. Like, he did the prop can, he's saying that, but then he apologized, and like, is this kid, I mean, I don't know.
Dude had like PTSD. It was like
oh, so sad. It's so sad. I was actually going to offer to help him, like, with money and maybe training. Like, and then he shot on the other guy. He couldn't threw the other guy down. He was like, so it's like, the guy was letting you work with his body. Like, you know, when you're training and even when you pick someone up and sparring, you're not going to slam the guy on his head. Like, that's basically what they're doing in pro wrestling, you know what I mean? Someone's letting you pick them up.
Dylan Dennis added that out of respect for Rampage Jackson, he didn't want to be overly harsh on Roger, but emphasized Roger's actions were completely wrong. He noted that at an indie show, performers trust each other, and as a trained martial artist, Roger should have known better. Attacking a defenseless person is unacceptable and harms the sport's reputation.
You don't want to blame Rampage. That's the only reason that I don't want to go too hard on his son, because Rampage is a legend. He's a great guy.
Seems to be kind of.
Yeah, but like if it wasn't Rampage's son, I'd be like, that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like that shit's fucked up. You know, to do to someone, especially an indie show like that, and you're a martial artist at the end of the day. You know when someone's unconscious. Like if it was like a street fight and you're in the fight to the death and you're trying to kill us or protect your family, that's like something like that. Okay, I would understand that, you know? He's a 25-year-old man that's been training martial arts and has been around martial arts his whole life. It's sad, man. I mean, yeah, it's fucked up. And like, I feel bad for the dude that he did it to, you know? And it puts us back a little bit, you know, went viral and it makes us look like...
Josh Thompson said Roger was reportedly allowed by the promoter to lift, slam, and strike the opponent, but no one stepped in when he did. He argued the promoter failed to ensure other wrestlers could safely intervene.
Apparently tells him that, hey, you can go ahead and go up in there, pick him up, slam him, go ahead and lay a shot on him, and then someone's going to jump in and break it up. Well, that's what the reports are, and I haven't heard the video or the audio of that. I've heard everything else, people talking about it, but I heard it was okayed by the promoter that he was allowed to go in there, slam him, jump on him, and then hit him. And then when he did that, people would come in and break it up. Well, no one came in to break it up. No. So there's for me, there is that, the fact that like the promoter should have had all these wrestlers better prepared.
That's a wrap. Share your thoughts on the Roger Jackson incident in the comments below.